slapping your nuts. Now look, here's a potato. One slap, you got big chunks for stews. Two slaps, home fries in a second. And look at this. But you add a mushroom, the more you do, the finer it gets in your brain.
Hello guys, Ancient Gameplays, I'm Fabio Pisco and welcome to my channel. And as for today's video we have the review of the 23.12.1 drivers, and as I say in all my videos, 23 is the year 2023, 12 is the month, in this case December, and 1 is a revision in that same month, so the first revision of December. And just before going into the release notes, I just want to tell you that if you saw my previous video on the 23.30.13.01 drivers, which are basically the beta drivers before the 23.12.1, I can tell you right away that most things that I said in that video actually came to happen in the 23.12.1 drivers, and I have no inside information. I just supposed that it was that way that it would go, and it did. Yeah, it did actually. And one of the most important things is definitely the hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, of course, but we have a lot more than that. We have new UI redesigns, we have new metrics, we have quite some things in that department. Also new Hypr-RX features, additional OS support, additional SDK and so on, but we'll get there. Let's start firstly with the release notes. Let me just show you first today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Maximum Settings, a cloud-based gaming service where you won't need to spend thousands of dollars to upgrade your PC or a personal nuclear plant to boot up your system.
Just do it!
And for as low as 9.95 Canadian dollars a month, you can play the most recent games on your computer even if your hardware isn't prepared. Sign up today for your full Linux gaming PC with no resource sharing and start enjoying high-level gaming on any PC. Now finally for the release notes. Firstly we start with new game support with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora that will be releasing in 1 or 2 days I believe. Then we have new AMD software UI redesigned. The home and gaming tab have undergone a UI redesign in the latest update of the AMD software Adrenalin edition. Hypr-RX profiles can now be enabled easily on a global basis or per game on the Home tab. Additionally, games on the Home tab now will display key art for a more vibrant experience. Nice! When users go to the graphics sections within the gaming tab, they will be able to learn more about specific features in each Hypr-RX profile by clicking on individual features to display a content block that contains more information about what benefits each feature enabled. Now when you view your performance metrics in AMD software, you can choose to customize elements such as the background or text colors, default enable metrics through profiles, which is also a nice thing, as well as select options such as showing the metrics overlay only while a game is open. And like I told you in the previous video, I said that the metrics and the new UI redesign should be coming to the 23.12.1 drivers, and they're here. So basically the graphics tab is now extended. Instead of having the main and then the advanced sub tab, we now have all the options inside the main tab. And as for the metrics, as said here, we can enable the metrics only for when we're gaming. We can actually select the background colors, the text colors and so on. So we can kind of customize way more the Adrenalin overlay experience compared to what we were able to do before. And this was something already enabled on the AFMF drivers, basically the fluid motion beta drivers, and they brought it now to the official drivers. So we do not have the fluid motion yet, but we already have the UI redesigned features that we had on those same drivers. Introducing AMD Hypr-RX Eco. Designed with power savings in mind, when Hypr-RX Eco is enabled, AMD software will enable a suite of features for gamers to experience power savings with one click. Hypr-RX Eco will launch initially with support for Radeon 7000 series graphics support and RDNA 3 platforms, meaning that we will only have this for now for the 7000 series, but they are working in supporting the 6000 series, at least that's what they imply here, which is once again not bad. Expanded OpenGL interop support. AMD Software Adrenalin Edition 23.12.1 expands support for FRTC, which is basically frame rate target control, Radeon Super Resolution, overlay record and stream features to OpenGL games. So when you're playing OpenGL games, like let's say some cases Minecraft, some emulators and so on, you are actually able to now use the frame rate target control to limit your FPS numbers, Radeon Super Resolution so you can upscale older games, for example, which is also a very nice thing. You can use the overlay as well, and you can record and stream without any issues. And now here it is. Additional OS feature support. Support for hardware accelerated GPU scheduling for Radeon RX 7900, 7800 and 7700 series GPUs. Click here for more information. We know that RDNA 2 cards, basically the whole RX 6000 series, do not benefit much from hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, and that's one of the reasons why they didn't bring it before, but it seems that the RX 7000 series, at least down to the 7700 XT, it seems that they may benefit to some extent, especially in VR applications, when using maybe the frame generation and so on. I guess that's why they are bringing hardware accelerated GPU scheduling once again, in order to improve the VR performance and in order to improve frame generation performance as well. That's what I think, at least. I might be wrong. We also have additional SDK support with additional Vulkan extensions. Click here for more information, and AI and machine learning. DirectML improvements and optimizations for Topaz AI, DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Lightroom on AMD RX 600M, 700M, 6000 and 7000 series graphics. Basically, we have an increased productivity performance in terms of machine learning, AI and machine learning for these softwares, the Topaz AI, DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Lightroom, meaning that these series of GPUs will get improved performance with these drivers, and that's very nice. Finally, something towards the productivity instead of just gaming and fixes here, fixes there. Nice. Of course, we have the pro drivers for the productivity side, but it is also nice to have better performance in productivity on the Adrenalin drivers as well. It's a win-win situation. As for the fixed issues, we also have lots of them. Lots. The first one is one of the most important ones in terms of the current generation cards, which is improvements to high idle power when using select dual monitor display setups with mixed resolutions and high refresh rate displays, such as 1440p 120/144Hz plus 1080p 120/144Hz or 4K 120/144Hz plus 1080p 120/144Hz on Radeon RX 7000 series GPUs, meaning once again that AMD did not forget about the high idle power. It's a known issue, they are still working to improve it, and as we see here with the 23.12.1 drivers, it seems that the high idle power gets improved on dual monitor displays such as 1440p plus 1080p or 4K plus 1080p. If you got your high idle power problem fixed, leave a comment in the comment section, because I really want to know, and I believe that people want to know, if these drivers actually improved your situation in terms of the high idle power or not. Intermittent micro-stuttering may be experienced when running Chromium-based browsers on systems that pair an RX 7000 series GPU with a secondary display connected to the AMD Ryzen 7000 series processor. Stars may intermittently fail to appear while playing Crysis Remastered, another bug that was fixed. At least the beta drivers did not have these fixed issues, which is nice. Certain textures might become invisible while playing Final Fantasy X HD Remaster on the RX 7000 series GPUs, also fixed. Intermittent corruption may be observed on the racetrack while playing EA Sports WRC. And the final one is intermittent stutter while playing Overwatch 2 on some AMD graphics products such as the RX 6900 XT. So the same way they fixed the stuttering on Counter-Strike 2, they most likely fixed it on Overwatch 2 as well with the RX 6900 XT cards. But as we know, we always have known issues, and even if you come here say, NVIDIA doesn't have issues, that's why I buy NVIDIA because I don't want to bother. Well, don't be an idiot, because all brands have known issues. If you go right now to the release notes of the most recent NVIDIA drivers, they have issues with Adobe software and more issues that some people don't even know they exist, but they're there. And those are the known issues, so it means that there are more issues that are not known by NVIDIA. But anyway, known issues. The first one is audio may intermittently become out of sync with video when recording from AMD Software Adrenalin Edition with AV1 codec, and this is one of those that have been happening for quite some time, and I would really like AMD to fix this ASAP. Intermittent gray screen after driver upgrade with certain monitors, such as the Nexus NX ED G27 4K on Radeon 7000 series GPUs, and that's a very specific issue, but well, at least it's known and they're working to fix it. The third one is performance drop may be observed in some light DirectML workloads. Graphics API metric may show NA in certain ultra-wide applications. Also not optimal, of course, and the last known issue is intermittent flickering on certain ground textures might be observed or may be observed while playing War Thunder with 4x SAAA enabled on some AMD graphics products, such as the Radeon RX 7900 XTX. So if you're having issues with War Thunder with the 4x SAAA, all you have to do is maybe decrease the option to 2x SAAA. AAA, but that's about it actually. We also have some important notes in these drivers though. The first important one is, starting in January, AMD Software Adrenalin Edition driver releases will no longer support AMD Link. This move will allow AMD to put more focus on developers with our SDKs such as AMD Advanced Media Framework that allow them to enable streaming functionality within their solutions. Gamers can continue to use AMD Link until then. And the second important one is, graphics profiles and performance metric settings may be adjusted after upgrading from AMD Software Adrenalin Edition driver versions, the previous driver versions. Users experiencing issues may use the settings reset option in either the graphics or the performance metrics page to recover the default settings. Although I advise, as always, and I repeat as always, to simply do a clean installation using the DU Display Driver Installer, which in my opinion will give you the best results overall in terms of performance and stability. Or just use the AMD Cleanup utility. Both work well. And after this whole bunch of known issues, highlights, fixed issues and so on, what is my opinion about these drivers and my experience? Well, in my experience, these drivers are actually pretty solid, and once again they bring HAGS to Windows with the 7700, 7800 and 7900 series, which is at least nice for the beginning, and in some situations I did notice an increased performance, while in others I noticed decreased performance. I will also do a full video of hardware accelerated GPU scheduling on versus off, for example with the 7900 XTX and the 7700 XT, to see how it will perform in most scenarios, in CPU bound scenarios and in GPU bound scenarios. But for now, let's see how the 23.12.1 drivers fare compared to the previous ones in some titles. Let's start with the 7900 XTX and the 7600.
sección de la policía de Mirage. No ingresen a...
The payphone was ringing. Somehow I knew the call was for me. Hello?
Alan Wake?
Yes.
Do you know who I am?
No? Who is this?
We'll get to that later. There are spies all over. Shadows.
A sense of deja vu washed over me. Had I had this conversation before?
Alan, listen to me carefully. Caldera Street Station, the subway.
So guys, as you saw, well, it appears that the performance is more or less the same in terms of overall performance. I do notice that Alan Wake does work better with the 23.11.1 drivers, because for example, the 23.12.1 drivers perform more or less on par on the 7600 as the 23.30.13.01 drivers, which are the beta ones, but those beta ones performed worse than the 23.11.1 drivers, and I know for a fact, because I tested off video, that Alan Wake does run better on the 23.11.1 drivers. It's not by much, but it does, okay, just for you guys to know. Now, what about HAGS? Once again, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. Does it make a difference or not? Should you have it enabled or disabled? Let's see. And well, as I told you before, it seems that HAGS on or off depends on the situation. If you leave it on, in some situations you'll have a bit more performance, like in Cyberpunk 2077, but in others, like Assassin's Creed Mirage, you might actually end up getting slightly lower numbers. Now, once again, I will do a full video comparing hardware accelerated GPU scheduling on versus off in two GPUs. I will do it, don't worry, it will come. But for now, as you can see, in some games you win performance, in some games you lose some. I will do more tests and I will actually draw a conclusion if it is worth it or not to use the HAGS on the newer RX 7000 series cards, okay? That's what I'll do. For now, as you can see, you win some, you lose some. And well guys, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget, leave your comment in the comment section. Tell me and us, the community, your experience with these drivers, because once again, that's the main reason why I make these videos, because I really want to see and I really want to know how the drivers are working for you or not working for you, if the fixed issues that the issues that AMD claimed to fix are working for you or not, if you still have new known issues, if you're having problems, if everything is working okay. I want to know that, and I believe that the community wants to know that as well. I believe that even AMD somehow, or at least sometimes, watches some of these videos and maybe watches the comment section in order to see what they can fix or how they can do it. And that's a very nice thing to have in a community, and I'm really proud to be to be making these videos, and I'm really proud of you guys for watching them and for leaving your data in the comment section. Thank you very much once again, and see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.